welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shirley, also known as Backttalk, and I usually do anything Disney, but today we are in Universal Studios Japan. I am really excited to go over my best tips for a very busy day. We recently went and had an extremely busy day and try to make the best out of it, so I just wanted to share the best tips I could give you to make your experience memorable. I will be covering all the best tips while you're in the park, how to buy tickets, express pass, which rides we liked, our overall experience, our hotel experience, and more. If there's anything I didn't cover, please leave it on the comments and I'll be happy to answer for you. I hope you enjoy this. Now let's hear all about it. So my first and maybe obvious tip is to check a crowd calendar. I linked one below, but a crowd calendar is perfect. If you cannot go during a low season and you absolutely have to go during spring break or summer, then maybe look at a crowd calendar and decide what day to go based on how many people are going to be there predicted from the previous years. Here you can see you do not want to go during the red, the maroon, the black. I will tell you I didn't see any of those in the calendar, but I cannot imagine what that felt like because we went on a Wednesday and it was extremely packed. So I would not recommend going on a day that is red or above because it gets really packed. And with being packed means that you are waiting in lines longer, there is less availability, it's not as fun, so you might need other things to consider. One thing to consider is that tickets sell out, so buy them ahead of time. You can go to Universal Studios Japan and buy them ahead of time. Here you can see the prices. If you're not great at converting like I am, I take off 2 zeros and that's what I estimate. So I'm estimating one day ticket to be about $86 depending on the day I choose, kind of like Disneyland. So obviously less busy days, $86. More busy days, $104 estimation. And here's what our ticket looked like, and you can see the days that would apply to the price that you paid. But there is 1.5 2-day pass and things like that, or a twilight pass, which I might consider for my next trip. But if you do go during a busy time, Express is your friend. This was my number one tip coming out of my day here at USJ, is get an Express pass when you are going. There is no way our day would have been as successful without this little friend of ours. And there are different packets, and this is why. Look at the wait times for the backdrop, 280 minutes. That's about 4 hours of waiting in line. Look at the Flying Dinosaur, 200 minutes. That's about 3 hours in waiting in line, which is insane. With the Express Pass for those two rides, we still waited about 30 minutes, and that's with the Express Pass. Now, USJ website is not the most friendly. We were lucky to be able to buy tickets through it after trying different debit cards and credit cards multiple times. But we also used Klook quite a bit because we were able to actually book hotels through Klook. We were able to buy tickets through Klook. And no, I am not sponsored. My channel is way too little to be sponsored. But I do have a link below if you want to check it out. I did think that it was a scam at first. And I did so much research. I joined Facebook groups. I'm like, is this real? But I came back from Japan and everything I purchased through it went through. There was no problems. And if you look, they have the same variety and they have the prices. Now, this is additional to your ticket. So you have to buy your park ticket, which I said about $86, plus this. So yes, it's very expensive. But like I said, our day would not have been our day without this. We would have done maybe 2 rides, 1 item of food, and that's it. I felt like it was just so busy. This is what we got in my email once it went through. They do give you assigned time, so no, you do not get to pick what times you get to go. So that's kind of a bummer because we had Nintendo right away in the morning at 10, and our next pass was at 12, and we couldn't come back to Nintendo, so that means we only had 2 hours at Nintendo World. We couldn't go back. We didn't get a standby pass. We were not lucky enough to get one. So that is kind of a bummer. It's something that I do want to make you aware of. This leads on to having a to-do list. If it's very busy, you're not going to get to do everything you want to do. So plan what rides you really want to do, what shows you really want to see, and what food you really want to eat. So Hollywood Dream, the ride was amazing, but The seats were really small. My husband is very tall. He's a large guy who could play football if he tried, and there is no way he would have fit in those, and he actually didn't. So they gave us a fast pass to the Flying Dinosaur, which ended up being our favorite ride. So it actually ended up being a win for us, but it's something to consider. Anyways, yes, pick the best rides. For me and for my husband, the Flying Dinosaur was amazing. If you're a big roller coaster person like we are, you're gonna love it. And there's a lot of anime attractions. We missed a lot of it because we were just on rides and trying to eat, and it was so busy. So plan it out. You're not gonna do everything. I'm sorry. Unless you're going for a week, there's no way you're gonna do everything. So now let's talk food. Just like the rides, food had a long wait time, especially this cafe, but it was worth the wait time. We waited an hour for this. We were starving, but I would wait an hour any day for this one, this strawberry shortcake one. Get 4, get 5, so delicious. After a parade, we ran to the donut stand, and it was so smart of us because we waited like a minute, and then we divided and conquered for these little pizza buns. So you really have to be strategic with your food. We ended up going to Snoopy because everything closes early. So even if the park closes at 9 or 10, the food closes 2-3 hours before that. So this is one of the things that was left open, and I actually really liked that little burger with teriyaki sauce. Another tip or something I wanted to talk about was how to get there, or if you should stay at a hotel. We stayed at the Parkfront Hotel. This ended up being my husband's favorite hotel in the whole Japan trip. Mine was actually Disney's Ambassador Hotel, but this one had so many good perks. It had so many freebies. That foot mask, that blue one, amazing. I ended up buying so many more at Don Quixote. But yeah, it was amazing. It was nice being so close to the hotel so that after a long day at the park and waiting 4 hours for a ride, if you waited 4 hours for a ride, it's nice to just go to bed right away. But if this is not an option, that's okay because it doesn't have as many perks as a Disney hotel does, like early park entrance. So you can totally take the train. We actually took in Shinkansen from Tokyo to Osaka, and we stayed at the Parkfront Hotel our entire time, even when we visited Osaka and Kyoto. And I would recommend putting your suitcases all the way in the back, but that's a different video, different tip. But you can definitely do that. You can go from Tokyo all the way to Universal Studios and back to Tokyo if you really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. Or you can just go to Osaka or Kyoto, stay in a hotel out there, and then take the JR over to Universal Studios. We did get lost a little bit from Kyoto back to Universal Studios, but we had an amazing person who was like, "Are you lost?" And we're like, "Yes, help." And she directed us to the right train. And we also got to see Mount Fuji on the way here from Tokyo, so that's a little perk. But yeah, so there's options. The hotel's nice, but you don't necessarily have to do it. We did buy some of these bands, and yes, you can use them at the US one. I haven't gotten to, but I'm pretty excited to do it. But yeah, those are the big things. Other small things, like I said, be ready for rain if it's gonna rain. Be aware that there is no re-entry, so you cannot leave the park. So that's kind of a bummer because it was a nice idea to have the hotel so nearby, but if we don't have a re-entry, that means you can't go take your midday nap if you're like us. So that's kind of a bummer. So just be aware that there is no re-entry. You can't come in and out as you would in most parks, pretty much everywhere. Make sure you wear comfortable shoes. Again, that's another obvious tip. I wear Vessis. I have a link below, and Vessis are waterproof shoes that I really like because I hate having wet socks and I do not want to carry an extra pair of socks, so I use Vessis instead. I'm trying to think of any other tips that I can think of. Like I said, the express pass does cost more. It's additional too. We didn't do rope drop, but I would suggest doing rope drop based on how we saw the crowd from our window from the hotel. It is very busy during rope drop, but that is an easy way to get to Nintendo. Nintendo World is still standby, so you still have to do almost lottery system by the time you get there. We did try to do the lottery system even with our express pass, and we did not get our standby ticket, so I'm glad we got the express pass that we did because it included entry to Nintendo World. There was a lot of shows. The parade was amazing. It's the best parade I've ever seen. I know, I'm sorry, but it's the best parade I've ever seen. Don't forget to check out the other videos so you can see our vlogs at Disney Japan, here at Universal Japan, all of the hotels. I will link everything above or below or somewhere. I hope you enjoy this and subscribe, and until next time, adios.